so if I could get people to listen to me better through him, why not? Without further ado, I bring you Don Sheffield.
Steve, let me ask you a question. Why was it important for you to have Dr. Sheffield here?
Because there are messages that he stands for that I try myself to bring out, but sometimes within a workplace you develop a certain familiarity with one another, just like families do, and sometimes you just need to hear the same message delivered from a fresh person.
Don't I know that?
And I just loved the way he delivered messages that I believed in, and so if I could get people to listen to me better through him, why not?
The most important part of people is often the part you don't see. And oftentimes, we allow ourselves to make judgments about people that we are isolated from, that we don't typically interact with, and we don't get a chance to see beyond what's above the water. And so, one of the things that Martin Luther King said in his I Have a Dream speech, he said that he wanted his 4 little children, help me somebody, not to be judged by the color of their skin, by the content of their character. I remember saying to my kids, and raising them, that sometimes they think, oh my gosh, gee, why are we doing this, Dad? And then somebody else says it. And I always tell them that the reason why they hear me is because they've heard you. So the reinforcement of the message, just because you invited me here, is really a reflection of what you've been doing. And that cultural and that compatibility in terms of leadership is important. So what in many cases the reason why this connects is because this isn't the first time they've heard it. It may be in a different way, but it's compatible with what their leadership is saying, and that's an important thing. I come from a family very, very, very poor, but I never, ever, ever knew it growing up. Never. I didn't know until I became an adult. And look back to see how in the world did Bessie and Eugene Sheffield raise 14 college grads in a home that had a bedroom for boys, a bedroom for the girls, and a bedroom for mom and dad. How in the world did they build a culture in our home that insisted that we know how to escape poverty? I know how now, and I will share some of that with you.
As I'm watching you deliver, I'm thinking, and I know you've gone through this routine many times with different groups, but I'm recognizing how in every time you do it, somebody gives you some feedback that probably will serve for you, that'll cause you to modify a little bit the next time you do it.
Yes, you ready to work. Hold that thought, yes. All right, when you feel that what you've done has added value to the organization, and somebody has gained, and you've profited, and somebody may have even said to your boss, oh man, I like so-and-so, she does a great job, woo! Rewarding, right? Makes you want to perform.
It makes me feel good to hear that you, and I presume other people too, that your focus is largely on speaking these things to teachers.
Yes. Yeah,
so you're not just limited to the groups you happen to speak to. I'm gonna call them students.
Sure.
But when you're educating teachers, then they're going to turn around and take this to all of their audiences.
Absolutely. Your hand was up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get yourself out of this one. Go ahead.
It's just a real concern. I would like to learn right now. So
Go ahead.
you made the groups. You set the terms. We played by the rules. So now that we won, we realized that it wasn't a moral victory, and it came at the detriment of our coworkers. So, like I asked you earlier, since this is what we see in society, and we're conditioned to react this way, what is the real issue and how do we address it?
The issue is how do we change the culture
Right.
of how people act? And sometimes it requires a generation of perspective. You follow me? Because some of these adults are just a waste of time. You know what I mean? That because the culture that they're so subscribed to. Remember what I said? Practice makes what? Permanent.
Permanent.
You know, and that's why it's so important to recognize that we all are part of cultures that make us act a certain way.